everyone. So today is super casual. You will hear the dogs. They are here with me because I am obviously at home. I'm not working, so bear with them. I've got Vincent beside me. He's usually the yappy one. All right, so I wrote down all of the questions, and then if you think of anything, you can just type it out. I am gonna save this video so it will be back on later, so if you can't watch it all and then you have to click back in. I don't think it'll be too long, but we'll see how in-depth I get in these topics. So the first question I had was about Kybella. So I know a lot of people are interested in Kybella. What is it? It's a deoxycholic acid, so it's this acid that we inject essentially that destroys a fat cell. So there's lipo. I'm sure everyone's heard of lipo. There is like cool sculpting, skin tightening, other things like that. But Kybella is the only other form of liposis other than lipo. So what that means, it's the only other form of destroying a fat cell other than getting liposuction. Cool sculpting and those other things, they flatten the cell, they shrink the cells, they don't actually destroy it, whereas Kybella does. Kybella is sold by Allergan, and Allergan also sells all the equipment to do liposuction. So straight up, it is not a cheaper option than liposuction. At the end of the day, you're going to be a very comparable rate. It's just meant for no downtime. People that aren't a candidate for surgery, people that don't want surgery, people that don't want partners to know, things like that. That's who it's meant for. You are not gonna save much money. I would say 10% if you're lucky, going a Kybella route opposed to going a liposuction route. And it's not gonna be as aggressive. Like, of course it is gonna dissolve the fat cell, but it's not going to be the same as actually getting lipo. After you get Kybella, you get a little bit of swelling. We always say the size kind of gets about 25% bigger, it lasts for a couple of weeks, and then it gradually goes down. The fat solidifies, and then the body absorbs that fat. You do need multiple treatments, so that's how it gets so expensive. I charge $500 a syringe. You can find them anywhere from, I don't know, $450 to $700, depending who you go to. I know in the States they charge like $750 a syringe, and depending on the area is gonna depend on how many syringes. So something like a chin, you could be anywhere from 2 to 8 syringes, depending. Like, I weigh like 155 pounds. I've done it. I've gained weight since I've done it, so I probably need another 2 syringes. If you're doing like a belly, you can imagine how much larger that surface area is, so how much more Kybella you're going to need. So, I mean, if there was a cheap, quick option for us not to be chubby, like I feel like no one would be. So just be mindful of that. It's not, it's not magic. It's expensive. So know that when you're getting into it. Don't let your service provider tell you 1 syringe, you're gonna be super happy. You're not, you're gonna be a little bit disappointed. So be mindful of that when you're going down the Kybella route. I will do it. I do quite a bit of it, but I like to be very real. I know the ones that have met me know that I'm like very straight up. This is what's gonna happen. And if you don't wanna do it, then don't do it. I'm not a pushy injector, so yeah, Kybella, do your research. You can literally go on Google and type in Kybella and the Allergan website will pop up. And then you can learn like right from the Allergan website. Like they tell you need like 6 to 8 syringes. They don't tell you the price point, obviously, because they're not the ones selling it. But okay, so another hot topic is POD threads. So, I mean, the ones that aren't huge into injections may not really know what I'm talking about, but anyone that follows like Botox Bunny or Injector Bunny or any of those like bigger names in America, or if you're an injector, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So a POD thread, what it is a little thread that we actually place under the skin. It's a small suture. So I don't know if you've ever had stitches. So it's like a small stitch. It's a little suture that goes under the skin to tack up the skin. We can do it in the cheek area, the jaw area. They are not Health Canada approved, okay? So I've been trained, I went to America, I got trained on POD threads. They're not Health Canada approved. So there are ones in Canada that you can find, but they're not Health Canada approved. So what does that mean? That also brings me to another topic. Someone said Profilio, or like there's a couple different fillers on the market that aren't Health Canada approved. So we actually don't know what's in that syringe. Like it hasn't gone through the testing. So obviously the person selling it is gonna tell you like, look, it's hyaluronic acid, it's really good, it's just much cheaper. You get what you pay for, okay? If you're getting cheap filler, if you're buying cheap filler, if you're paying for cheap filler, you're getting cheap filler. Like, come on, guys. Louis Vuitton doesn't go on sale. I've never bought a purse on sale, ever. Okay, so just be mindful of that. You are not saving money. You are getting shitty products. So if that's the route that you want to go down, and that's what you can afford and you don't care, do it. But don't be fooled and think that so-and-so is selling you a $200 syringe for a $500 syringe. The same with the threads. They're not Health Canada approved. You don't have a body behind you. If I give you filler and something goes terribly wrong, we have reps and a body that we can call and be like, hey, this happened, and they're gonna help us through it. Never happened. But when you're buying non-Health Canada approved, you have nobody standing behind you saying, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Like, there's no one saying that is in the syringe or that is the proper thread it's supposed to be. So you are taking a gamble. Be mindful of that. So don't do your research, guys. Non-Health Canada approved, to me, is never a good idea. I don't want to risk my license. I can't say 100% I know what I'm putting in your face, and I'm not comfortable with that. So until POD threads get Health Canada approved, I will not be offering them. I am trained in them. I trained twice in America in them because we were supposed to get them approved almost 2 years ago now, and we're still waiting. That is for a reason. So if you do your research, getting FDA approval is a lot easier than getting Health Canada approved. So you will see things getting approved faster in America. And then, of course, China's a whole new conversation. Like, they get things approved very quickly there. We're a little bit more stickler. And, like, I'm okay with that. I want the best for you guys. I want to be able to 100% know what I'm putting in your face and be confident in it and stand behind my work. So, not Health Canada approved. If you remember those, that little lip gun that people were doing, it almost looked like microneedling, but it was like putting filler in your face. How quickly those got taken off the market. They're not Health Canada approved. At this point now, it's actually illegal to do it. So not only is it not Health Canada approved, if you do it, you can literally be fined. So yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, guys. All right, so let's say you get filler and you regret it. So you do cheek filler and you go home, it settles, you're happy with it, the injector did a good job, you just don't love it. What do you do? So you can dissolve filler. It's a thing. We do use the dissolvent for when we get into like emergency situations, but filler can be dissolved so you're not stuck with it forever. Another reason why we use hyaluronic acid based fillers is because they are temporary. They last about a year to 3-ish, depending where you put them. So that's a huge reason we don't use a permanent implant, is because we want it to metabolize out. My dog's literally gonna go crazy here. Mia, come. No barking, honey, come. We want it to metabolize out. We don't want it to be in there forever, because the cheeks that you want at 25 are not gonna be the same cheeks that you want in 30 years. That's how we get that desperate housewife look, is using implants. So that brings me to my next question. Somebody asked, can you really get the same result with jaw and chin filler as you can with like a jaw and chin implant? The answer is kind of. So no, Mom, you cannot be in my live video. Nice try. The chin and jaw, you can get the same result, but you're gonna be spending a lot of money. So obviously anything surgical is gonna be a lot more expensive than anything non-surgical, and you're gonna be paying for it. So to get like a surgical result, you're gonna want a lot of syringes because you're gonna want something quite dramatic. And at the end of the day, you're probably not gonna be a far cost away from just getting the surgical implant. So, then you have to ask yourself, is it the money thing? Is it, I don't want something permanent? Is it, I don't want scarring and downtime? So yeah, you can get the same result. You're just gonna be paying for it, and it's not permanent. So if you're cool with that and you just want something a little temporary, but you want something super dramatic, then yeah, you can absolutely go down the filler route. Just make sure that your injector is being honest with you and telling you like, hey, look, this is gonna take 5 or 6 syringes, which is gonna run you $3,000-$4,000, and you're aware of that before you get started, which is really important. Okay, This is one of my favorite questions. Yeah, this is Vincent. He's literally my firstborn. He's so grumpy and he just barks. So I just pulled him over here. He obviously doesn't know we're doing a live video, but one of my favorite questions on the sheet was tips with acne scarring. So acne scarring, I suffer from it myself. I had quite a bit of acne. I still have active acne. It is literally the hardest thing to treat in cosmetics. So 100% hard. You will never get rid of it. So ever, it doesn't matter what you do. I've even watched that show on Netflix and a couple girls came in with really bad acne scars. It was improved, but it wasn't gone. So it is the hardest thing to treat because it varies. You can get, valleys, you can get ice pick scarring. There's a lot of different types of scarring that come with acne, and as much as there's 1,000 things out there for it, it's just gonna improve it. It's a lot of damage to the skin. So I recommend doing like an IPL laser, something super invasive. The more invasive, the more downtime you have, the better your results are gonna be. So when it comes to skincare, if you're getting like a nice dermabrasion, you feel so good after, you have a beautiful glow, no downtime, it's not gonna be super effective. If you have something that you're like, oh my God, I can't leave the house for 4 days, my face literally is completely scabbed over and peeling, you're gonna have good results. So the more invasive, the more expensive, the better the treatment. You can do acne, or you can do filler for acne scars. It wouldn't be my top choice. I would recommend lasers and chemical peels and green peels. I know you guys hear me talking about them all the time. That's what I've used to cure my acne scars. It has been the most beneficial, even better than IPL. So acne scarring, it sucks, and I really feel super bad for people that have it because it's honestly heartbreaking. Yeah, if you have kids, get their acne under control. I know you may not want to bring it up. It's embarrassing, but honestly, they're gonna thank you in the long run when they don't have scarring. Sucks. Okay. So how I started my business, that's like a really big topic, and I do offer a symposium. So it is a 3-hour symposium on Skype. I have 5 students. We do like a whole bunch of chatting. I tell you how I started my business, how my business model works, everything like that. So if you're interested in that, DM me. Pretty much I got my injection course, I got a medical director, and now I subcontract out of spas, and I do own a little shop in Kingston. It's just a little 500 square foot studio. Excuse me. So that brings me to the question, where's home base? Home base for me is Kingston, but we also do own a house in Oshawa, so we literally live 50-50. So it's wild, but that's literally our norm, so we're used to it. Yeah, this is my little bubba. You offer green peels. I don't, but my salon does. So I have a subcontractor, which is Reveal Medi Spa, which a lot of you are familiar. She is the lady that I work for in Peterborough and Lindsay, and she subcontracts out of my spa and does skincare and green peels. So hit me up if you're looking to get a green peel. I 10 out of 10 recommend. You will not be disappointed. I'm super confident to put my name behind green peels. Literally obsessed with them. Bedside nursing. So I was a bedside nurse for legit a hot minute. I did home care and I worked at a retirement home. I got hired for a part-time position on the, I guess in Peterborough, it's like a pediatric kind of birth floor. So I got offered a part-time position there and I turned it down to do injections. So I remember at the time, like, my dad was not impressed. He's like, what are these injections? Like, no, you can't believe you just turned down your dream position. Best decision I ever made. So yeah, I was literally a nurse for a hot minute. So I don't know a ton about nursing other than injections. I am in school right now getting my RN at Nipissing. I'm halfway done. The goal is to get my nurse practitioner and kind of change my business model a little bit. So yeah, I'm still actively in school. So you'll see me post like random things about tests and stuff, and that's what I'm referring to, is getting my RN, which is, yeah, it's been really fun actually. So it's obviously a little bit different now that it's kind of online, but okay, so I'm gonna get to one fun one. So what breed are my dogs? Obviously, this is a puglet. My mom wrote she was supportive. My mom was very supportive about me doing the injection course. She wasn't 100% sure either what it really was. I mean, this was 4 years ago, so I was one of the first injectors in a lot of the cities I work in. And no, my mom's like, I've had Botox before. I think you should do it. It's really cool. So she supported that. Absolutely no barking, Mia. So this is Vincent. He's a pug. Mia, come. And then Mia's on her way over. Come here, honey. I don't know if she's gonna come in the camera view. Come here, who's this? Hi. So you can see her little nose there. She is a long-haired German Shepherd, but her ears never came up. She has floppy ears for some reason. They never stood up. So yeah, she looks a little different, but honestly, yeah, we love her. She's super cute. Vinny's gonna attack her. She doesn't like when Mia sniffs his paws. She looks a little different, a little less intimidating, but she is my little baby. She's a good dog. He's a bad dog. So Botox for spocking, what that means is if you get Botox, sometimes your eyebrow can kind of peel up a little bit in the corner. That's called spocking. We can treat that. It's super easy. It's super common to happen. It kind of depends on your anatomy. So I have quite a high arch already, so I'm a really good candidate to get spocking. Some people love it. I feel like the people over 45 love that Spock look. I definitely don't think you should have a flat brow, but I think that there should be a little bit of arch here, but you don't want it to be like that. That's not a hot look. It's like the easiest fix. So if you've like been scarred, you're like, I'm never doing Botox again because last time my eyebrows went all crazy. Literally, it happens all the time. It means actually you had a safe injection because your injector didn't want to go over your brow to potentially drop it. Call your injector. She'll get you back in like 10 seconds. And all you have to do is do one little unit right above the brow. Most people do it complimentary. I do. Within a couple of days, your Spock's gone. So if you know you get Spock and you're going to your injector, make sure you tell her like this is happening or this happened with my last injector, and they'll make sure that that doesn't happen. It's a super easy preventative, but you kind of need to say something or they need to see it happen in order for it to do it. So Botox for sweating, we call that hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating. What we do is we put Botox a little bit superficial, which paralyzes the sweat gland, which is going to reduce your sweating. I suffered from hyperhidrosis like in my armpits my whole life, like since I was a kid. And obviously I didn't know about this treatment. It literally is life-changing. I stained all my white shirts. I couldn't wear grays. I couldn't wear certain colors because obviously I was sweating, and now I do it every 6 months. I do not sweat. People often get concerned, like, are you gonna sweat out of other areas profusely? Really, most people that are considering getting the hyperhidrosis treatment are somebody that has like an excessive sweating to an area. So all it's gonna do is bring you back to like a norm. So like obviously if I work out, I get a little bit of sweat there, like as I think like most people do. I'm not excessive where I'm like literally doing my makeup and like sweating through my shirt. So that's not ideal. It's really popular with men in the wedding season because of course dress shirts. I know a lot of guys that have to bring 2-3 dress shirts to a wedding or to an event because they're sweating through, or have to wear t-shirts under their dress shirts so that they don't sweat through their dress shirt, which is like really awkward. So yeah, it's, you know, it's gender friendly, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna end with where have I had injections. So I've been in the industry now for 4 years, so I've kind of dabbled in quite a few things. I do have a picture on my Instagram of my before and after. It is my health card picture, so it's very raw, but you can actually see difference, which is super cool. I get Botox in my forehead. I do a little bit around my crow's feet, my glabella area, my bunny lines. I do Botox in my chin, in my masseters. I've done filler in my cheeks, filler in my under eyes, filler in my medial cheeks, my nasolabial folds, my chin, my lips, and that's it. And I've done Kybella. So I'm definitely not new to injections. This is over 4 years, so it's just things here and there. I'm 27, so people often say like, am I too young to get started? I don't think so. If you're going to, you know, a professional that's gonna make you look natural and just modifying and preserving your beauty. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for my questions, I believe. So if you have any other further questions, just DM me and I'll probably do another live. Vinny says bye-bye. It was really nice to meet all you guys.